it all comes down.
The whole financial system?
Why do I get the feeling that the left just wants to burn the country down to a heaping pile of dog manure? Hello, everyone. I am Kenneth Amaduri, and I wanted to just speak my mind for a few moments here. I get into these skirmishes quite a bit now with liberals and people that hate Donald Trump and the country so much. And now it's not that I'm not willing to point out when I don't like something that Donald Trump says and have a reasonable discussion about it. It's the fact that the left is so vile and spiteful and truly un-American that there is no reasonable discussion with them. It is like Donald Trump pointed out in the press conference this week. It's the hateful tone that is being shown by the media, and that ultimately trickles down to brainwashed voters. And by the way, the press conference, if you watched it, was funny, hard-hitting, and really connected to the American people. When he reneged on CNN being fake news and replaced it appropriately with very fake news, that was hilarious. And I wished at that point that the news conference would have went on for at least another hour or two. But sure enough, headline news about the press conference at the Rolling Stone magazine was 18 WTF moments from Trump's unhinged press conference on absolutely trivial things. Really, I went down the list and there wasn't anything in there that I thought were WTF moments. And I wasn't sensing or feeling that at all during the press conference. But sure enough, people that want to dismantle and really get in the way of some progress here that the U.S. is heading for, don't want to hear it at all. And of course, they didn't write in the magazine, yeah, Trump, thank you for encouraging businesses to invest in the country. You know, like Ford canceling a $1.6 billion plant in Mexico and instead investing $700 million in Michigan. And to be fair, this isn't all great news, right? Well, that's like 1,000 less jobs that Ford could have created for the Mexican economy. Instead, those jobs are now here. Now, for globalists, this might not be good news. But what do you expect from people who don't seem to care about the future as we are watching our country absolutely disintegrate? Consider the way millennials are now living poorer and in their parents' basement, broke, and many well-educated at that. We don't notice as millennials, I'm a millennial myself, that things have changed because we don't know any better. We don't know any differently. But I promise you, if there was a time machine for a 20 or 25-year-old living 40 or 50 years ago, and if they were to be put smack dab in the middle of 2017, they would look around and say, these young people are living in a third world hellhole and settling for much less than they had to. You know, really graduating now with $37,000 of student debt on average, with average wages only at $55,000 a year for households. We're talking about households now on average. And yes, these wages have stagnated now since 2000. I think we're below where we were in 2000, adjusted for the government inflation. And doctors and lawyers are graduating and living as if they were cashiers at 7-Elevens. The way these people used to live years ago. That's how doctors and lawyers now live in the middle of these urban cities. But the left doesn't want to point this out. They want to be the champions for global charity at the expense of the American middle class, much of which, granted, the majority of people don't even realize that they are doing. I talk to them all the time, and most average lefties don't get it, which is great for politicians. Everyone, on another topic now, is crying about the wall, but then whine about growing wage inequality for the past 40 years. And just so you know, not all businesses are against open borders. Not all Republicans are against open borders. That's cheap labor for them. More profits in their pocket. And not to mention, they get their house cleaned and mowed at a discounted rate. In fact, the Trump Organization would benefit from an open border. That's cheaper housekeeping at his hotels, cheaper landscaping at his hotels, and in general, a suppressor for anyone that he would have to pay, a suppressor for pay that he would have to pay. And what he's doing is something smart for the greater good of the country. Again, it's not that he's against immigration. He just wants it done legally. And I love that populism is now on the rise. You know, really people speaking out. I'm optimistic about another step in the right direction with Marine Le Pen in France leading in the polls for the National Front Party. Hopefully she wins, and that's more momentum building up for people that are rising up and saying and rejecting globalism. And I love that liberals made a public spectacle of Milo Yiannopoulos as if he was some sort of white nationalist spewing hatred. Right, this man, a Jewish gay man who sleeps, his boyfriend is black. And the fact is he is a threat to the left. And they absolutely hate it. But yet, he's no farther right than a man like Trevor Noah is left. But you don't see conservatives breaking down windows and rioting out in front of Comedy Central because someone is voicing their opinion. But anyways, this is starting to go a little long, but I just wanted to say that I'm a libertarian as anyone else and anti-government as anyone else. And but at the same time, I don't find it productive to be so righteous that I completely remove myself from the conservative and liberal discussion. I know a lot of libertarians and people on YouTube, they talk about how both sides are bad, and I do understand that, but I do believe there's some good out there and there's some hope with what is on the horizon, even with a guy like Trump. It's not all perfect, but there's a lot of good and steps in the right direction that I think we do need to acknowledge. And when it comes down to your specific future and your specific finances, do what you need to do. I mean, separate yourself from the debate and make sure that you're doing what is best for you and your family. But for the sake of the country, really try and understand some of these trends and stand up to lunacy when it presents itself. So many conservatives are so spineless when it comes to facing the radical, politically correct left. And I'm sick of being surrounded by a bunch of cowards. Start standing up for what you believe in, and let's hope some positive change can be made with the direction the country is going, even though it's going to be tough. Nonetheless, if you guys want to follow more of my work, visit me at crushthestreet.com. You can sign up for the newsletter. I will talk to you guys later.